Hi everyone, today I'm doing something a lot of chicken keepers might be a little nervous to try. I'm introducing these two tiny 4-week-old pullets into my full adult flock. They've been living right next to the coop behind a fence, so the chickens already know they're here, but today they're finally joining the big flock. Let's see how it goes. These two pullets are only about 4 weeks old. They're hybrids, and today they're stepping into a much bigger world. I introduced them to the large flock earlier than most people might, but there's a reason for that. For the past few weeks, these two have been living in a separate cage right next to the main coop. They've been able to see the adult birds every single day, just through a fence. So the flock already knew they were there. They watched each other, listened to each other, and slowly got used to one another before the real introduction ever happened. So now comes the interesting part. What actually happens when two tiny pullets enter a flock full of adults? The first thing you'll notice is that the pullets move very carefully. They stay close to each other and spend a lot of time observing the older birds. They watch where the flock goes, where the food is, and where the safest spaces are. And yes, there will be some pecking. Most of the time, it's actually the hens that do the pecking, not the roosters. The hens are the ones that enforce the pecking order. If a pullet gets a little too close, especially near food, a hen might give a quick peck to say, "Back up, this spot is mine." Sometimes it happens when the pullets wander into a hen's personal space. Chickens are very aware of territory, even inside the same flock. But the thing that might surprise people is the pecking usually doesn't last very long. It's quick, more like a reminder than a fight. A peck, a little chase, and then everyone goes back to what they were doing. The pullets will learn fast. By the second or third day, they start figuring out the routine. They learn when to approach the feeder, when to stay back, and which hens are better to avoid. Their day becomes a mix of exploring, staying close together, and quietly studying the flock. They follow along when the chickens scratch the ground, they watch where everyone dust bathes, and they slowly begin to move more confidently around the coop. And the amazing thing about chickens is that the flock adjusts too. At first, the pullets are the lowest on the pecking order, but as the days go by, the pecking gets less frequent. The older hens stop paying as much attention to them. The pullets start eating alongside the others, scratching in the dirt, and moving through the coop like they've always belonged there. Instead of staying in one corner, they begin exploring more of the coop and the run. They'll still stay close to each other, almost like a little team, but you'll see them slowly working their way around the flock. They start learning the routine. They figure out the safest times to eat, often stepping in after the older hens move away from the feeder. They begin scratching in the dirt alongside the others, copying what the adult chickens are doing. So most of the time when a hen pecks them, it's just a quick correction. A single peck or a short chase that lasts only a few seconds. It's not really a fight. It's just the flock reminding them where they stand in the order. For most young pullets like this, the adjustment usually takes a few days to about a week before things really start to calm down. During those first few days, you'll see the most pecking, but after that, the adult chickens usually stop paying so much attention to them. The pullets become just another part of the flock. And by the end of the first week, many pullets are already walking around the coop much more confident. They're eating, scratching, and moving through the flock without drawing as much attention. Within a couple weeks, most of the flock barely notices them anymore. They're still low in the pecking order, but they've learned how to live within it. They know which birds to avoid, where to move, and when it's their turn to eat. It's really amazing to watch. Two tiny birds come into a big established flock, and day by day they learn the language of chickens and find their place in the group. And before long, they look like they've been part of the flock all along. It's always interesting to watch how quickly young chickens learn the pecking order and figure out their place in the flock. These two are already getting braver every day. If you've ever introduced young pullets into an adult flock, I'd love to know, how old were yours when you introduced them, and how long did it take before everyone started getting along? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.